guys, welcome back to my channel, Movies Times with Russ. I know this is very late to put up, but I want to tell you about my top 10 of 2021. Now, obviously it's late because I wasn't doing any YouTube videos, as you may know, but I'm back now, and I thought, why not show or tell you about my favourite films of last year. So it was very hard to pick 10. There was just some really good films out last year. So but I will tell you about, just before we get started, about my honourable mentions, because some might surprise you that I haven't included, but there might be some that you think, oh, that's justified. So here we go. Firstly, guys, with the honourable mentions. So I have it down here on the list so I can just check, so I'm not thinking about it. So, but first off, we've got King Richard. I'm just going to run through these. I'm not going to give you any descriptions of these honourable mentions. So, King Richard, we have Tick Tick Boom, Encanto, The Night House, Censor, Three Guy, the Sparks Brothers documentary, Suicide Squad, The Father, Cruella, and The Nest. Now that was my honourable mentions. Again, some may be shocked that I never include these sort of films in my top 10 list, but again, this is purely my list. Again, other people's films will differ from that, but I'm pretty happy with the list I have got in my hand. Obviously 10 in total. So let's get on now with my top 10 of 2001. Right, so let's just crack into it, guys. Now, there's only 2 5-star films on this list, and all the rest are 4.5. And surprisingly enough, we're going to start this list with a 5-star film, and that is Come On, Come On. Now, I can't describe what I watched at the cinema at the time when this came out. I thought it was just like pure art. The raw emotions on display was just joy to watch. Joaquin Phoenix just gave a masterclass performance, as he always tends to do nowadays, and he's slowly becoming one of my best actors around at the moment. But also Woody Norman, who played Jesse, he was unbelievable in the film, but it may not be for everyone's taste, but I thought it was great. So that was Come On, Come On. Yeah, awesome. Alright, coming in at number 9 was The Last Duel, directed by Ridley Scott. It was a real shame that this pretty much flopped at the box office. This is definitely worth people's attention. It was told in like 3 main chapters and in 3 different perspectives as well, from the characters from Jodie Comer, Matt Damon and Adam Driver. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I wanted to see how each viewpoint would differ from everyone's point that, part was told. The story was very interesting to me, but the film shines with the characters. So that was a 4.5 star I gave that. So that was The Last Duel at number 9. And at number 8, I think this was pretty much low on other people's countdowns, but not for me, but still a really good film, and that was at number 8, Dune. It was grand in size and in stature, and it felt like a really big blockbuster and like a force to be reckoned with, a powerhouse, if you will. I can't wait to see what Villeneuve comes up with in the next part. Hopefully more world building and more, you see the character develop and grow more, and for the music, lighting and choreography, everything was on point. So I gave that a 4.5 star. Now guys, coming in at number 7, it's Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. Now I must admit, I never watched the original before I watched this, but now that has been rectified. But as this was Spielberg's first musical, I thought he'd done a fantastic job with just the look and the feel of it all. The dance sequences and the dynamic between Tony and Maria were believable. I think they were more believable here than they were in the original. But the music complements everything so well, and I did know a few songs before, like prior to watching it, so that was always a plus. But yeah, a 4.5 for West Side Story. Right, coming in at number 6 is No Time to Die. Daniel Craig's last outing as Bond. It ties up all the arcs from his previous films, and it definitely succeeds tying everything up. The stakes feel a lot higher. I think personally this was his best performance since Casino Royale. With its, I mean, it's a near 3-hour runtime. It may put a lot of people off, but because of the pacing in the action set pieces, the shots, locations, the cinematography, it just flies by, and it was a fitting end to Daniel Craig's Bond. So that was 4.5 star. I gave that. So on to the next one. Okay, straight in at number 5 is Last Night in Soho. An interesting story and an interesting premise keeps Edgar Wright's film feeling fresh and original. I love the aesthetic of the dream sequences of London in the swinging 60s. The music complements that sort of style perfectly. Thomasin, I think, I don't really want to butcher the name, but Thomasin McKenzie and Anna Taylor-Joy is the gel that puts all this together, brings it all together into one neat package. Last Night in Soho, 4.5 stars. Straight in at number 4 is the Mitchells versus the Machines. Another hit for Sony Animation? I 100% think so. From the story, which everyone can relate to when it comes to electronics, because everyone uses those sort of electronics. Everyone does. Day-to-day life. Everyone can relate to it. They hit the nail right on the head with the humour. This is my type and my sense of humour. They get this so right for me. So yeah, Mitchell's Machines, a 4.5. Okay, in at number 3 is Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. Marvel has got another hit on its hands with this great introduction to this sort of character we never knew about. Well, people maybe in the comics, I'm not too sure, but I personally didn't know about this character at all. Shang-Chi is like nicely paced. It blends comedy with fantasy elements and action, and balances it with a backdrop of awesome choreography and characters that you can really get behind and dig. It exceeded all my expectations. Shang-Chi, 4.5 stars. And the last two, in at number 2 is SpiderMan No Way Home. It was kind of hard to keep my expectations in check to a minimum when you heard about like the few whispers here and there. I'm not going into any spoiler territories, so don't worry. Opening up the multiverse where anything and everything could happen really piqued my interest, and hope they didn't have a Spider-Man 3 on their hands. But this hits you right in the face with callbacks and nostalgia, with some quite surprisingly emotional beats. But this was Tom Holland and Zendaya's best performance of the trilogy, and I can't wait to see where they go with the next one. 4.5 stars. And here we are at number 1. I don't know if many people might have guessed. They may have done, but we will see. But in at number 1 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, as many people as you know, I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I love the franchise to death. So as soon as I watched this, it was great to me. It's hard to find the right balance between making your own sort of take on the franchise and then to push the story on to give the fans like me what we want. But I think Jason Reitman struck that balance. Uh, this will certainly hit die-hard fans like myself um, a lot more, but there's a lot here to please the other side of the spectrum, like the new people who have just got into Ghostbusters. So, but to the music cues, to the Easter eggs, and the familiar characters returning, you'll be pleased with the fan service and nostalgia, because I was, and I literally right near the end I cried like a baby. And like since I've seen this about 4 times now, and every single time that ending, when that hits, I was literally crying. And not many films do that to me, but this one did. So that's my top 10 of 2021 Ghostbusters. That's a 5-star, of course. So there we have it, guys. My favourite top 10 of 2021. I hope that most people agree with that list. Many people I know will probably won't, but I'm just glad I got this done. I've never done that I don't think I've never done a top 10 in my channel before. So, and this was quite nice to do. I really enjoyed running through my favourites of my top 10. I may do a top 10 of my least favourite. They're not going to be worst, because they weren't really bad films. I mean, well, 1 and 2, if I did a list, 1 and 2 were probably like really stinkers in my eyes, but I was so happy just to share my top 10 with you guys. I appreciate you watching, coming back, and it's hopefully we'll get more views on the channel. And share with me your top 10 of last year, of 2021. I really like to hear other people's perspectives on their favourite films. So guys, that is it. Second video in the can, done and dusted. And again, like I say, hopefully I'll be back with another one very soon. If I'm a gambling man and say which one that would probably be the top 10 films I didn't really enjoy that much. Not worst, but just didn't really enjoy. So yeah, please rate, comment, please rate, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye for now.